Elements rail. With this element, you can add a rail, which is a box with some content next to the main content. So here we see the examples. First we have a left and right rail outside of our container. Then we have them inside of the container. Then we have them outside with a vertical division line. Then we have rails attached to the container outside, rails attached to the container inside. Then we have the rails outside of the container again, this time with a close distance and then a very close distance. Finally, we can see rail of varying sizes. Alright, so let's go back into our code editor and see how we build this. We can see that we have a segment, and then we have the content that we want to be inside of our rails, and then we have the text of our main content. So to start, we need to add some classes to this wrapping div element, UI left rail. And to the other one, we add the classes UI right rail. So let's take a quick look at this in the browser. Notice that we have a segment for the parent element and also two segments inside of our rails. Now I'll refresh. Remember that the segments is what creates the border and the padding. So we can see that our two rails inside of our parent segment has now positioned itself outside of the container. Let's continue and see how we create them inside of the container. To do this, we must add the classes UI left internal rail and UI right internal rail. Let's take a look in the browser again. Now they are inside of the container. Now let's see how they can be placed outside with the vertical division line. So to do this, we add the classes UI left dividing rail and UI right dividing rail. Let's take a look in the browser again. Now we see that we have the division line. Now let's attach them to the container outside and inside. So we scroll a little bit down here. For the first example, we need to add the classes UI left attached rail and UI right attached rail. To attach them to the inside of the container, we add the classes UI left internal attached rail and UI right internal attached rail. Let's save this, go back into our browser, refresh. Now we see them attached outside and inside of our container. Now let's see how they can be placed a little closer to the container outside. The first example will be the close one and the next will be the very close one. Alright. So we scroll a little bit down here to the first segment. We add the classes UI left close rail, and to the other one here, UI right close rail. To make them very close outside of the container, we add the classes UI left very close rail and UI right very close rail. Let's save this, go back into our browser and refresh. Now we can see that they are placed outside of the container, but close and very close to it. Now let's have a look at rail sizes. Notice that rail sizes currently are not working with the use of UI segment inside of the UI rail. So for these examples, we'll only use text here. We'll not wrap the text in the UI segment since this is not currently working. So to create these sizes, we add the class UI left mini rail, and then we create the tiny one using the classes UI right tiny rail, the small one UI left small rail, large one UI right large rail, big one UI left big rail, a huge one UI right huge rail, and finally the massive one must have the classes UI left massive rail. So we're just using left and right here alternatively. But the main thing to focus is, of course, the classes for the sizes: mini, tiny, small, large, big, huge, and massive. Let's save this and go back into the browser and refresh. Now we can see the text content or the font size of the text content having varying sizes. This was all about how to use the rail element.